This hunt here is a prime example of why I love waterfowl hunting so much. It's meeting up with old friends, getting to hunt a new area, and through those old friends, meeting some new ones who just so happen to be viewers of the show for the last couple of years.
Where's that other bird at?
It's right way back there where we shot the gadwall.
I think there's another one.
In that area?
Yep, right
There's
there.
one there, and I
There's a
think
Drake mallard still out
I
there.
say I believe there's another Drake.
Yeah, I see that. We're shooting.
So hunting in these upright blinds out in the middle of the field is really gaining popularity. This past season was the first experience that we have had hunting out of them. We still have a lot to learn. There's a lot of little tricks and stuff. Using the sun to your advantage, not letting it cast shadows out across the decoys. There's a lot of manipulating that you need to do, and we've learned along the way, but it is a completely different experience being out there in the middle of a chisel-plowed cornfield, pretty exposed. Looking at it from the outside, you know, that blind sticks way out. But for whatever reason, there's a lot of guys, and this hunt included, are able to get away with it. Being out there in the middle of this field, trying to stay tucked in and hidden can be a challenge. You don't want to have your head poking out, trying to look at birds, trying to spot birds, especially in this situation on an afternoon hunt where the sun is to our southwest, off our back left shoulder, and that's where the birds are coming. So rather than trying to poke our heads out and see what's coming, we're staying tucked in. We did happen to get burned a couple times. You get a sneak attack there, but I would rather be sneaked up on than out poking my head up, glaring sunglasses, scaring birds off from half a mile out.
Good Lord, that heavy X is dirty. Dude, that is some bad stuff.
I've never seen something.
Dude, that is some bad stuff.
All right, I'm forever shooting
That heavy X.
heavy X.
Holy cow, Blake. Wow.
I've never seen birds die like that.
Let's go. That looks like us.
They're in the decoy.
You know, we shot heavy X extensively last year, and it doesn't take long to see the difference in knockdown power that those heavier pellets provide versus standard steel shot. It's more kinetic energy since those pellets are heavier. And for the guy that says, well, it's really expensive, here's my argument with that. Yes, it is more expensive, I will give you that. But since it is heavier and more lethal, carries more downrange energy, you're gonna have fewer follow-up shots, fewer cripples. Therefore, you're gonna shoot fewer shells. So yeah, at the beginning it is more expensive, but at the end of the day, you're gonna shoot far fewer shells than what you're used to.
We're going to run some blind retrieves with our dogs. These are maintenance retrieves that you need to do in the off season during your dog training season to keep your dog sharp on blinds. What I like to do, because I'm training by myself a lot, is I just walk a big circle around my training ground, and what I do is I just try to plant some dummies, hopefully where the dogs don't see them, so by the time I get back and finish my circle, then I've got a pattern to run with my dogs. So that's what we're going to show you today. What I like to do is always pick a reference point so I know myself where my dummies are when I'm sending my dog. So right there's a nice cedar tree. I'm just going to leave one blind there so I know where it is. And here's a little group of saplings, which is another good reference point for me to remember. Good, now my blinds are out. Blind retrieves are going to represent a big portion of your hunting situations with your dog, so you need to make sure you practice this in the off season. And what I like to tell people is mix up the distance. Don't always come out and run your dog 100 yards every day. You need to mix that up. Run them 50 yards, run them 100 yards, run them 20 yards, because that's what you're gonna face when you're out in the hunting situation, out in the field. They're not always gonna fall at 100 yards. So make sure you vary up your distance when you're working on your blind retrieves. Today we're gonna be running at about 110 yards. That's just the day we're at. So we're gonna run Diesel on this and see how he does. What's important, when you line your dog up, make sure tail, body, head is all pointed right where you want him to go. If he's off a little bit, don't send your dog, because then you're gonna have to handle him into it. The point here is we want him to run a straight line until we stop him. Hold back. Hold back. Get on. Get on. Now he's over the hill, so he's on his own. So if he's got a question, he's gonna have to come back to me and ask, but he's found our bird, so no issues there. Nice retrieve. Good boy, Diesel. Good lad. Dead. Good boy. Very nice retrieve there. At this point, I'd probably put him back in the kennel, maybe bring him out a little bit later and do a little bit different retrieve just to mix it up. But there you go. These are the kinds of retrieves that you want to be setting up in the off season with your retriever on blinds.
You know, so many times was the case last year. You find a field to hunt, and no matter what the weather, no matter what the moon phase, birds were not rolling off the roost until the very last bit of legal light. And that's what happened in this hunt.
Good girl, hey.
Oh, here those big.
Yeah.
And could we have finished off those last few ducks there in that last flurry of legal light? Yeah, we could have. But what's it gonna do for us? Or sit there and let those few birds that were right in front of us pass and watch the show of 1,500, 2,000, 2,500 ducks circling above us, lighting at the end of the decoys. Just sit back and enjoy it, because you don't always get to see it.
That's something not very many people get to see. Not always about the killing. It's more about the hunt. And I'll tell you, I came to see that show tonight.
Have you ever seen that many mallards that close?
No. No.
Maybe at the park.
Maybe at the park.
And little did I know that this was going to be one of the last times that I was going to get to film or participate in a hunt with Nellie. Nellie is owned by Ricky Keller. He's a longtime great friend. Nellie has been on the show almost the entire existence of Fouled Reality. And unfortunately last week, she passed away. She was one of those dogs that could turn it on when it was time to hunt. And she could turn it off as soon as the hunt was over. And she never met a stranger. Nellie, you're gonna be missed, girl.
Why, this is probably the best idea you've ever had.
Yeah, no kidding.
You know what would have been even better? Doritos.
That's gotta be the most unique.
Should have said something. I asked. I said,
Gotta be the
what
most
did
unique
everybody
blind
want?
snack I've
agree.
ever seen.
What do we do when there's not ducks flying?
We eat.